With backpacks slung over their shoulders and flashlights in hand, a group of friends embarked on their expedition. They traversed winding paths through dense woods, the crunch of fallen leaves beneath their boots punctuating the silence of the night. As they ventured deeper into the forest's depths, they exchanged nervous glances as shadows danced ominously among the trees, and a palpable chill settled in the air. Finally reaching the forest's edge, the asylum loomed before them, a specter of decay against the backdrop of the moonlit sky. Ivy-clad walls and shattered windows greeted them, casting twisted shadows that seemed to reach out with spectral fingers. With bated breath, they approached the asylum's entrance. Curious and with the promise of adventure, the friends pressed onward into the depths of the asylum, unaware of the horrors that awaited them within. As the friends entered the asylum's dimly lit interior, the air grew thick with a suffocating dread. Cobwebs hung like shrouds from the decaying ceiling, and the musty scent of decay permeated the stagnant air. Shadows danced along the walls, their movements fluid and unnerving. Their footsteps echoed through the lonely corridors, each creaking floorboard sending shivers down their spines. The flickering beams of their flashlights cast erratic shadows that seemed to twist and contort with a life of their own. But it was the whispers that chilled them to the core. Soft and insidious, they emanated from the walls, an endless chorus of disembodied voices murmuring incoherent words that echoed through the asylum's halls. At first, the friends tried to dismiss the whispers as tricks of the mind, mere echoes of their own fears and anxieties. But as they delved deeper into the asylum's labyrinthine passages, the whispers grew louder, more insistent, weaving their way into the fabric of their thoughts like invasive tendrils. The whispers spoke of forgotten sins and unspeakable atrocities, their words dripping with malice and contempt. Some claimed to be the voices of the long-deceased inmates, trapped between the realms of the living and the dead. Others seemed to belong to something darker, ancient, and evil that lurked in the shadows, biding its time. Despite their growing unease, the friends continued, and with each step, the whispers grew louder, sending chills down their spines. As they rounded a corner, they were greeted by a sight that froze them in their tracks, a figure cloaked in shadow, its eyes glowing with an otherworldly light. The shadow merges into an ethereal form before their very eyes. The spirit's ghastly visages flickered in and out of the darkness like a wraith summoned from the depths of the abyss. The spirit bore the marks of suffering, a twisted visage contorted in eternal agony, eyes hollow and filled with a haunting despair. The spectral form oozed with an ethereal ichor that dripped like blood from its translucent skin. Other spirits joined and closed in around the friends, their whispers intertwining with the beating of their terrified hearts. Some reached out with spectral hands, their fingers cold and clammy like the touch of death itself. Others stared with hollow eyes, their gaze piercing through the very depths of the friends' souls. "Do you hear us?" one spirit whispered, its voice a twisted melody of anguish and despair. "We have been waiting for so long, trapped in this hellish prison of our own making." "We remember the pain," another spirit moaned, its voice a haunting echo of a long-forgotten life. "The experiments, the treatments, the horrors inflicted upon us by those who claimed to heal." The friends trembled in fear as they tried to speak, pleading for mercy, but their words were lost amidst the din of the damned. "We crave release," a third spirit hissed, its voice dripping with vicious rage, "and we will not rest until we have taken our vengeance upon those who dare to trespass in our domain." With anguished cries, the spirits lunged forward, their ghostly forms merging with the shadows as they enveloped the friends in a suffocating embrace. As the spirits closed in around them, the friends huddled together, their breaths coming in panicked gasps. Desperation clawed at their hearts as they searched for a way to break free from the suffocating grasp of the spectral entities. "We have to do something," Brenda whispered, her voice trembling with fear. "We can't just stand here and let them take us. We need to find out what happened here," Ryan replied firmly with resolve. "There must be a reason these spirits are trapped within these walls. If we can uncover the truth, maybe we can find a way to set them free." With a collective nod, the friends set out to find clues that might shed light on the asylum's grim past. As they searched every corner and hidden passage, They found a hidden chamber concealed behind a crumbling wall, its entrance obscured by layers of dust and debris. With trembling hands, they cleared the rubble, revealing a chamber. Within the chamber lay a series of rusted instruments, saws, scalpels, and syringes stained with dried blood. Tables littered with restraints and straps bore witness to unspeakable horrors, the remnants of experiments conducted in the name of science gone awry. Blood-curdling screams echoed in their minds as they imagined the agony endured by the asylum's unfortunate inhabitants. They could almost feel the cold steel against their own skin, the sharp sting of the needle piercing their flesh. As they stared in horrified silence, the truth dawned upon them like a bolt of lightning. This asylum was not a place of healing but a house of horrors where the innocent were subjected to unimaginable torment. The spirits that haunted its halls were the echoes of those forgotten souls, forever trapped in a cycle of suffering and despair. While in the chamber, the whispers of the spirits grew louder, their anguished cries intertwining with the frantic beating of the friends' hearts. "We have to get out of here," Mark gasped, his voice strained with panic. "This place is driving me insane." The shadows emerged, morphing into grotesque shapes, causing Brenda to clutch at her head as her eyes widened with terror. "I can't take this anymore," she cried, her voice trembling with fear. "We need to leave now before it's too late." As they turned to flee, the shadows constricted them, trapping them within the chamber's confines. And then, in the darkness, they began to turn on each other. "We shouldn't have come here," Ryan snarled, his eyes wild with madness. "This is all your fault." Brenda's lip curled in rage. "Don't you dare blame me," she spat, her voice laced with bitter contempt. "You're the one who dragged us into this madness." Their words devolved into a cacophony of screams and curses, their voices drowning out the whispers of the spirits that haunted the chamber. As they tore each other apart, the darkness closed in around them, sealing their fate within the asylum's cursed halls. As the friends argued, a shadowy figure emerged from the darkness. Its eyes gleamed with an evil light, its form twisted and contorted into a grotesque mockery of humanity. "You are mine," it hissed, its voice a chilling echo of the horrors that lay buried within the asylum's depths. "You belong to me now, body and soul." The friends trembled in terror, as they searched for a way to break free from the entity's grasp. But as they tried to escape, a sinister thought crept into their minds, a dark whisper that promised release if one of them died. Panicking and wanting to live, the friends turned on each other. In a frenzy of bloodlust, they tore at each other's flesh, their screams mingling with the tortured cries of the spirits that haunted the chamber. The friends raised bloodstained blades high above their heads, ready to strike the killing blow. The eyes of the friends widened in horror as they realized the betrayal unfolding before them. But before they could utter a word of protest, blades came crashing down, cutting through flesh and bone with ruthless precision. Blood sprayed across the chamber in a macabre dance of death, painting the walls in a crimson hue that seemed to pulse with a life of its own. As the lifeless bodies crumpled to the ground, the entity let out a triumphant howl, a chilling testament to the darkness that lurked within the asylum's cursed halls. During the madness, two friends were able to escape. The two survivors staggered from the asylum's cursed depths, their hearts heavy with grief and guilt. They felt the weight of their friends' deaths pressing down upon them like a leaden shroud. Though they escaped the chamber of horrors, they knew they could never truly leave the nightmare behind. The spirits that haunted the asylum refused to release their grip. They whispered words of torment and despair, their voices a ceaseless cacophony that followed the survivors wherever they went. "We will never let you forget," the spirits taunted, their words dripping with malice. "You carry the weight of your friend's death upon your shoulders, a burden that will haunt you until the end of days."